What's up, crew? Dr. Andrew Fix back for another episode here on the Code. Standing outside, there's a little bit of a breeze going on, so if there's a small amount of background noise, hopefully you don't mind that. And wherever you're listening to this, however you're tuning into this episode here on the Code, really appreciate your guys' time and choosing to spend it with us. If you're driving or something, be safe while you listen to this, and let's get into it. What I want to talk to you guys about today is the concept of stepping outside of your comfort zone and pushing yourself to do something that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm standing here wearing this hat that I actually won from a cornhole tournament. It was a two-person, a team cornhole tournament at a business coaching conference we had went to a few years ago down in Texas. And I like to hold on to the fact that myself and my partner, and then myself and a different partner at two separate business coaching conferences, are the two-time champions of this cornhole tournament. So at one of the places, the Lucky Spur Ranch down in Texas, got this hat. So it's safe to say that cornhole, or bags, depending where you're from, bags is what we used to call it in Wisconsin, where I'm from, is something that's well within my comfort zone. I enjoy playing it. I'm pretty good at it, though. I mean, I'm an amateur compared to some of these people out there that play on the ACL, the American Cornhole League. I mean, you see leagues here in Colorado. These guys and gals are insane, right? Um, I'm not out there playing cornhole every day, dominating it. So by no means am I saying that I could beat anyone that's listening to this, because you might very well be better than me. But cornhole is in my comfort zone, right? Lifting weights is in my comfort zone. Being a physical therapist is in my comfort zone. Running is something I really enjoy, and it's in my comfort zone. But you want to know what's not, is mountain biking. And the reason I'm bringing that up is earlier today, I went on a mountain bike ride. I actually needed to borrow my brother-in-law's mountain bike. And the whole backstory is I'm about to go to a bachelor party with a buddy of mine and a group of groomsmen in his wedding. And we're going to be doing some mountain biking, and we're going to be doing some downhill stuff. And it kind of scares me a little bit because that's not something that I've really spent much time doing. I have a mountain bike, but I have not ridden it in a long time. So I quickly took it to the shop when I found out what we were doing on this bachelor party weekend, which is coming up, and took it in to get a little tune up. And my goal was, hey, I need to get out on this bike a few times before this bachelor party so that I can feel more comfortable and confident on this bike before we go ride downhill. Even though I wouldn't be using my bike. You get the story. I needed to be comfortable doing the activity. So anyways, the shop was so backed up. They took my bike, but they're not going to be able to have it done in time for the actual bachelor party weekend. So I wasn't going to be able to use my bike to go ride it a few times to get acclimated and get comfortable handling the bike, riding, etc. Long story short, borrowed my brother-in-law's bike, took it out a couple times this past weekend to go do some mountain biking. And whew, holy smokes, you guys. Something that I'm a little bit afraid to crash, but I also don't want to be a snail on the trail. So when I'm going down some of these curves, when I'm going down some of these hills, I'm trying not to ride the brakes. I'm trying to push it because I like the adrenaline rush that comes with doing the mountain biking, but also I'm a little bit afraid to crash that thing, and a little bit afraid to really send it, because this is not something that I'm very experienced in. I tell you what, though, it was super fun, and it's something that I could definitely see myself getting into. But in order to do that, I need to continue to step and continue to step and continue to step outside of my comfort zone. And I want you to do the same thing. Like, think to yourself, what are the things in my life that I do all the time that you would say are well within your comfort zone? That could be a certain activity, that could be a certain type of clothing that you wear, that could be a certain type of conversation that you have with other people, like a small talk conversation that doesn't really, go deep into the layers of getting to know somebody. It could be well within your comfort zone to kind of have a small talk discussion with somebody, but not really show any vulnerability or not really ask them any deep questions, because then you have to actually actively listen to them for the answers. I've been guilty of that before, you guys. So if you catch me doing something like that, please call me out on it in a nice way. But what is something that you would say is outside of your comfort zone? What is that activity that you have been wanting to do that you've been avoiding doing because it scares you a little bit? What is that thing that you've been wanting to say to somebody that you've been avoiding because it's an uncomfortable conversation and you're a little bit unsure how to bring it up or how to ask it? What is that activity that you have been wanting to do that you haven't done because you're uncomfortable? Whether it's a fitness class, or maybe it's a dance class that you want to go to, or maybe it's a hike that you've been wanting to go on, but you're a little bit afraid of how you're going to be able to tolerate it. So you've just been avoiding it and kicking the can down the road, right? If any of these things sound familiar, I want to encourage you to just take the first step, right? You don't have to do that thing tomorrow, but if you start to put the pieces in place and put the goal on the calendar, right? Like put the goal, write it down, and start to work backwards, right? We do this goal setting exercise where we say, this is your someday goal, this is your 10-year goal, this is your 5-year goal, your 3-year one, your 90 days, etc., your 30-day goal. And you put the big one out there and then you work backwards, right? As opposed to the other way around. You don't set the small goal first and hope that you're eventually going to make it to where you want to go. You have to put the big one, the big goal, the main thing out there, and you have to work backwards from there. Because otherwise, if you don't know where you're going, how are you ever going to get there, right? It's really no different than if you're planning a trip and you're going to say drive from Denver, Colorado, where we're recording this, or Littleton, and you're going to drive back to my home state of Wisconsin. Well, I'm going to put my parents' house or wherever I'm going in Wisconsin in the GPS, right, in my phone, and that's going to be my destination or our destination. And then I'm surely going to make some stops along the way, but those are going to be stops along the way. Those are going to be the smaller goals, the rest stops, the restaurants, the hotels, the whatever, along the way to get to the ultimate goal, which is to get back home to Wisconsin to see people. You're not going to put just the little places. You're not just going to like throw a dart at the map and say, oh, I'm going to drive to this place in Nebraska, then I'm going to drive over here, then I'm going to drive over there, and you're going to like zigzag your way across the middle of the country. That's going to take you forever. Put the one big goal down so that you have your trajectory, you have your path that you know you're going on, and then make the smaller goals along the way. And do the things that are going to help push you out of your comfort zone so that you can actually have some growth happen along the way, along the journey. Because we all know that phrase that like the real benefit is the journey, not the destination, or however one of those phrases goes. Like the real adventure, the real growth, the real benefit is in the journey. It's in the getting there, not actually getting to the thing. Like it's in the way there. So find the thing that puts you out of your comfort zone. Don't stop doing the things that you enjoy. That's not what I'm telling you to do. Go do those things and do the things that put you out of your comfort zone. Hopefully you go find one today, and I look forward to catching you guys on another episode of The Code. Thanks so much. Hey, if you stuck to the end of this episode, really appreciate your time again. Now would be an awesome time to hop to the review section of this podcast. If you've heard me say this before, thank you for listening again. But if you've never left a review, go do that now so that we can get this conversation out to more and more people here from The Code. Thanks so much.